So welcome back to the channel. I'm Coach Chris McMahon. I'm so excited to have you here. We're doing something a little different today. I just offboarded one of my clients, Bryan. He's the man. He's been working really hard, and I wanted to just share a little bit of the insight he's found while working together with me for the last 6 months. It's pretty cool, pretty rad, and we worked through some stuff. And I also have to excuse I had to cut it short because a plumber came and my kids were home and things are crazy. But Bryan, thank you so much for working with me. I appreciate you, man, and you just did a fantastic fucking job. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
How's it going? Kids are back in swing, back at school.
Yeah, they're back in school. That's awesome. Just it makes things like this so much easier because there's not kids screaming in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really good. And yeah, the weather here is like 70 and sunny, so it's just like all the fall feel is coming in.
Yeah.
Uh yeah, so we're doing good here. What about you, man? You got a house?
I got a
You got a
house.
kid in school?
I got my son's in school. My baby is outside. My mom's watching him. I have an office with a backyard. I mean, it's great. We're very fortunate, and just happy to be here. But it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
We're always doing something. Some plumbers coming over in a little bit. There's always something. Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, it's amazing. So thank you for asking.
Yeah. So good.
So clue me in. How are you feeling? Do you have any questions? Are you like, how best can I help you in this final wrap up call?
Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, over the last, I don't know, 6, 7 months, however, long we were kind of officially together, you just I got so many tools that I needed to understand, okay, if I want to lose weight, cut fat, gain muscle, what do I need to do that? Especially for me, it was like, if I need to exercise, I need to exercise. I get that. But so much of mine was more the food related aspect of it, of like, what aside from crazy dumb diets or something like that, like how do you how do you actually lose weight or be thoughtful about what you're eating? And that was my main number one goal here, to say like, help me understand food better.
Mm,
And that's really what has been my greatest transformation in all of this, is just understanding like, what's a macro, why are we doing these macros, getting protein, the importance of fiber, um, health values, all of those things. So that all became super important to me. And now it's just a matter of, for me is, am I willing to put these things into practice on an ongoing basis? Um, so yeah, that's the thing where I'm, just trying to live that out
mhm.
in the day to day, food wise. Honestly, I think my biggest struggle at this point is between the hours of 7 and 9:30 p.m. are just they're just killer for me. I feel like I do good all day long, and then the kids get down, and it's just like this release. I'm like, why am I hungry? Like,
Well,
uh, I don't
there-
I don't
there's
want to be, but I would sure love to, X. And then it just, that's just been my killer. Like yesterday, I had like a phenomenal day, and then it's like 8:30 last night. I'm like, maybe 2 chocolate chip cookies. Oh yeah, and it's like, jeez.
yeah, yeah. That's like a good. I mean, it's something pretty common. Everyone deals with it. There's two parts of it. In working with you, it was like you reduce like there were some days where your calories were pretty low. You're like, I'm not hungry. I'm not this. And then by the time, of course, nighttime comes, you're like, I'm hungry, right? So
Yeah,
that's part of it. One is like you would keep your calories kind of low, and then by the time you would get to after that, of course you're going to be hungry. Like for fat loss, you're always going to be. There will be periods where you're a little hungry. Like that's just
yeah,
normal. Um,
yeah,
However, having it happen at the same time every day, you can like look back and look through the day and be like, well, what was missing here? It's also like, oh, well, if I plan for like I want I want 2 cookies. It's like that's fine if it fits within what you're doing and the rest of the day is well balanced.
yeah,
If you're like, I'm gonna skip this so I can eat the cookies, then it becomes more of like a different conversation. But what I would say is look at what's happening throughout the day. Like, what do we consider a good day? Is it like I haven't
Yeah.
had anything at all? Or have I had a couple days without anything? Oh, let me have it now. Or is it like, let me consider I can incorporate this into my day? Like, do I
Yeah.
need to have the cookie at nighttime? Could I have the cookie with my lunch? Does that then make it so I'm less likely to eat multiple cookies?
Yeah.
There's like a there's like this huge benefit to plating what you think the snack is or the sweet is, whatever it is, with your
Yeah.
actual meal too. Because then you figure it in and then you're actually full. And then you've also like satisfied that craving that you're having, which are normal. Cravings will never
Yeah.
go away,
Yeah.
but it's that's part of it. It's like, did I eat enough at dinner? Am I full after dinner? Am I not actually full after dinner? Should I have seconds of dinner? Right? It's like this kind of tightrope you can walk. Does any of that like
Yeah.
resonate or feel like you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. All of that makes a lot of sense. And, for me, I mean, honestly, it just feels like the definition of insanity. Like, because every time I'm like, well, I'll just have it's just it's a small little cookie. I'll just have one, or like a small little bowl of cereal, and then I'll be good. And it's like, it never, if it's sweet and it's that time of night, like, it's like, Brian, remember the other night where you said, I'll just have a little bit, and then it just like snowballs. Like, so something is just like, all right, man,
there's
you
another
gotta you gotta know how this goes. You know that if you open that can of worms,
yeah. There's
it's not gonna stop. And so I think that's my killer. And then I get on the scale the next morning. I'm like, gosh, this would be better had I not, loaded up on carbs right before
yeah.
bedtime last night.
Yeah, I mean there's another thing too that you can kind of look at. It's like, are you logging it before you eat it? So case in point, like
Oh,
I'm gonna grab 2 cookies. I'm gonna log it. So then I have that. Versus being like, I'm just gonna do one. I'll remember to log it later. Like if it's
yeah,
like I'm gonna do this, there's like little tricks you can do too. It's like I'm gonna have this cereal, but I'm also gonna do like protein shake mixed into my milk. And then it's like suddenly, oh wow, this is
uh,
really filling. Oh wow, I'm hitting my protein. Okay, so
yeah,
yes, it's an extra 100 and I don't know, 20 calories, but it's like at least I'm only having one bowl of this and I'm gonna be full after it versus like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So that those are options too that you can play around with.
yeah. Literally last night, I kind of looked at my calorie intake and I was like, oh, I have like 300 calories left to get up to 2,100 calories on the day. And I was like, so I like went and looked at a box of Cheerios, and I like kind of totaled it up like, oh, if I have a bowl of Cheerios and some milk, okay, that's about this. I mean, if I did like the Greek yogurt with a little bit of honey, some flax, and this, it's almost the same. So I'll just have the cereal. If I would have went with the yogurt, I know I would have had the yogurt. It would have been done because that would have been totally it. And then with the bowl of cereal, it just was like, that was really good. How about just a little bit more, a little bit more? I'm like, God,
Yeah, man. I mean,
it's
it's
all
kind of
these things where like I know at this point, like I just know, but I just have to like, come on, man,
there's also
you know what's gonna happen.
yeah, I mean, it's also kind of like, well, Cheerios doesn't really have a lot of fiber in it, so it's not going to keep you full as long, right? So,
Yeah,
and also, like, are you waiting like 15 minutes before you get more? Probably not. You're probably just like, I smashed this bowl, let's go for another, right? So that's
exactly,
the other side of it. If you wait those,
exactly.
15, 20 minutes, you're going to be like, I'm good.
Yeah,
Versus like being like, all right, let's go right for this. So that's like
yeah,
something you have to play around with and be aware of. It's like I
yeah,
have to give myself this time to actually enjoy it.
yeah. And honestly, I think after our time coaching together, this is all stuff that I have learned, and I know, and it's just like, are you going to put this instructions that I have learned and been taught and know, am I going to put them into practice? And
Mm,
that's really what all of this is coming down to is you help me achieve the goal of learning so much more about food, how it impacts my body, how to not have to do something ridiculous in order to, achieve results. And it's just a matter of, will you put these words into practice?
yeah. And I mean, the other side of it is you drop some serious body fat, like
Yeah.
like you drop your clothes fit differently, your energy levels are
Yeah.
up, you got stronger. I will say the missing piece of the puzzle for you probably that would help is that strength training component. That's just going to help you in the long run,
Yeah.
uh, because there are people who are like, I eat carbs, and it's just like I feel gross. Well, when you build more muscle mass, there's somewhere for the carbohydrates to go.
Mm,
Like it gets
mm,
stored for your next workout. You
yeah.
that's primarily that's glycogen, right? So it's like if I lift weights, then those carbohydrates have somewhere else to go, and it doesn't just feel like right. You'll see it too with like uh, bodybuilders, like before their show, like as they get there, they'll have a day where they have like 600 grams of carbohydrates, and suddenly they're really swole and puffed and very. That's
Mm,
just what it is. It gets stored as water in the muscle. But
yeah.
when you don't have a lot of muscle or it's not there, it's like I just feel like I have bubble gut, and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of like how it gets partitioned
Yeah.
for better
Yeah.
for better or worse. That's kind of how it works.
Yeah. I think that was a thing. I mean, going back, like I I took advantage of what I felt like I really wanted to take advantage of. I didn't take advantage of everything that you offered to me. And that's, I mean, that's 1,000% on me and what I was choosing to engage with or not engage with. Um, but I think on the, a little bit more of the, let's say, strength type stuff, what blew me away was the results that can be achieved with just like zone 2 cardio.
Mhm.
Um, Because when I was doing that in that first 2 months, that's when I had the biggest shift in like my appearance.
Mhm.
Um, and knowing like just the endurance and some of the strength that it gave me, but it's just like, holy cow, this, I don't have to try to sprint through 3 miles of running and be miserable, thinking that that's going to be the key to, you know, gaining some endurance and losing weight, where it's like, oh, actually, the better shift in my body weight was, or how that weight was presented itself was just in something as simple as walking on an incline.
Yeah. It's interesting because it's like, oh, we could say it's the zone 2, that's what it is, that's why I lost some in actuality, it's your daily movement went through the roof because you did it frequently. So, you went from doing, like, let's say you're already doing a lot when you're working on the farm, but you added an extra, like, 5,000, 6,000 steps walking on an incline.
Yeah,
It one could argue just walking on flat for an extra 5 to 6,000 steps would would have the same result because 'cause you're using more energy throughout the day. So it's like
yeah,
the benefit of zone 2 is, yes, heart health and longevity and your ability to recover when you do go for those longer distance runs, like, totally 100%. And from a fat loss perspective, it's just like, "Nah, I was just more active during the day." It's like that's
yeah,
kind of the, like, sweet spot. It's like you were more active during the day, you dialed in your nutrition, your sleep was
yeah,
on point, like, you had all these boxes that you're checking. You increased
yeah,
your fiber, you increased your like, you were doing all the things.
yeah.
So I just want you to know it's like, "Oh, I was doing all the things," versus it being like, "This one secret. This is what did it." It's like,
Yeah,
I wish it was that, but it was being
yeah,
consistent in your deficit and being active
yeah,
and
yeah, for
recovering.
sure.
Like, you were doing
Right.
and even when you were traveling, you were still even when you went to, like, a resort, you still were sending me, like, gym selfie like, you were being consistent with the thing,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Now that you say that, that's another thing that, oh, I mean, it's just so radically different from me. Is anytime we go to a hotel now, I'm just like, well, I'm gonna go walk on the treadmill, or I'm gonna go hit the gym there because it's right there, and this is so simple. And what else am I gonna do? Sit in my room and watch TV for a little while? Like, I have never done that in my life at a
Mhm.
hotel. And I was just like, we were on vacation in Colorado this summer, and I'm like, I'm gonna go work out. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, as opposed to like just sitting with the kids in the room, or just whatever. Um, so yeah, just even something like that has been the value of this. Like, I got to take a couple trips to Detroit this month. got my hotels booked. I'm like, yeah, this is great because now I can feel 100% not guilty about going to work out if kids are there. Like it's just me, and I'm just gonna go do my thing. And right now for me, um, like I said to you, summer was more challenging than I thought, just with like, oh, more stuff filled up, or I was outside and active a lot more, but not as dialed in on just being consistent with anything. And now we're coming into fall. I'm like, I'm just gonna go back to the basics of what I learned and was good at in the first kind of 2 months. Like I'm gonna I'm gonna do my incline walks. I'm gonna try to dial in and get consistent on my meals. And if I can, start as the weather gets junkier outside, get more dedicated to finding a lifting program or something like that, just to try to get a little bit of weight stuff going and start maybe trying to build that in, and then see what happens over the next couple of months, and see where I want to go with it, come the beginning of next year.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a solid approach. I think the basics get overlooked because they're not as sexy. And
Yeah.
it's like, even for you, even if you wanted to lift one time a week, you could do that. You could do that now, and it wouldn't feel as overwhelming versus being like, I have to follow this program that says I have to go 4 days a week. And right. So it's like
Yeah.
one day a week, a dumbbell only workout. It's
Yeah.
just going to start to build the the reps, kind of just like you were like, oh, I never thought to go to the gym. It's like, yeah, well, it just started with you doing, like, you just have to walk
Yeah.
on the incline, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same idea. Like, do the adjustable dumbbells, do one workout a week, see how many weeks in a row you could do one workout a week. When that gets easy, add another one. Like, it doesn't have
Yeah.
to be anything like earth shattering. Nothing like that will make you be like, oh God, this is it.
Yeah. 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 It's good.
That's solid, man. I'm so proud of you. You put in so much hard work, and I'm just stoked for you. And I'm always gonna check in on you and see how you're doing. That's just
Yeah, man.
me. But for the most part, dude, I'm always an email away. You just ask
Yeah.
anytime. Shoot me an email. I'm always happy to answer.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I hesitated for so long to do anything and talk to my wife. She's like, "Hey, I heard Chris on, oh my gosh, whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
and Balance 360." And I was like, and she's like, I think, like you should reach out. And I'm like, finally, just like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And yeah, it was a pretty big, leap for me to do it. But man, the benefit that I got out of it has been huge. And yeah, just kind of knowing where I'm at and knowing, oh, I can always pop back in with Chris. Like, hey, if things kind of get to this point where like, hey, I'm ready to take this next step, I'm gonna come back to Chris and say, all right, man, let's see if we can, get me on weights or anything more,
Yeah, man.
and get it going.
I love that, dude. I'm just stoked for you. And I really I don't have much else to say other than, like, you just got to be consistent and find what
Yeah,
consistent is for you.
yeah, yeah, 100%. And that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing. Of like, all right, I know what it is. I know what I want to do, or I know how to do what I need to do if I want to do it, and it's just a matter of getting it done.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's not that hard. It's just about consistency.
Yeah, man. I'm stoked for you. So I have to end this because the plumber just got here. So I have
Yeah,
to
you're
go.
good.
But
You're good.
look, man,
You're good, man.
again, super stoked, and just reach out with any questions, okay?
All right, man. Thanks for everything.
I hope you found this chat with Bryan helpful. He's just such a great guy. I consider him a friend. He was a fantastic client, and I'm sure we're going to be working together again come January because he's going to want to put on some muscle, like he said. But look, if you're interested in online fat loss coaching, I have a few slots open right now. You can click the link below to apply. It takes all the guesswork out of everything for you. Your programming is done by me every single week, so you can save time in the gym. There's no BS nutrition, and it's designed to fit into your lifestyle so you can really improve your relationship with food and still enjoy the things you love while losing weight. And most important of all, accountability, because I'm there with you every step of the way. So apply, and I'll review your application, and if you're a good fit, we'll get in touch with you with the next steps. And look, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel. You have notifications turned on. You give a thumbs up if you found this helpful, and comment below with any questions you might have about something that Bryan and I were talking about, or some other question you might have, because I'm always happy to help and answer. So without further ado, remember, you're one day away from getting back on track, and one day away from realizing how fucking amazing you are.